Alrighty, guys. Welcome to the first video on the YouTube channel. I've been making a couple on TikTok, all the same ads, which is just Rookie Coach AFL. Go follow them on Twitter and TikTok just for quick little videos about trades and performances and all that sort of shit. But we're just going to do a quick check-in after the Saturday string of games. Just kind of recap the games so far. Nothing too crazy to talk about. Bulldogs came back all guns blazing. You had a safe VC option in Bond. I tried to pod the VC on Steel. Anyone who bought in Steel or Marshall this week, you'd be kicking yourselves, and I blame you for Steel score, just quietly. The only other person I'd talk about from Saints who did well is probably Bonner. I think this is really good. Whoever's still holding Bonner, you're very happy with. Point chasers are going to go for Dale. Darcy, caution to the wind if Bevo keeps bringing in lob. And we're really happy to see a bounce back game from English with that 54 in his system. So that's really good for non-holders to kind of show that he's still in good form. Rookie Garcia did very well. That's really good. We need more forward options, so that's something good to focus on as well. That's literally the other Garcia. The Saints, where are we? How did he do? Still pretty good. You have some options. That's literally all there is to talk about. Already merit this week, as what you would have seen from the trade videos on TikTok. Very happy with this. I'm very happy for the sense of it could have been a whole lot worse. I think this is still a good long-term trade and hold, and I would captain him again and again and again. I think he's just in a really good form. He played more forward time this game. I watched the game almost completely, and he did spend some time in the forward, and he disappeared for like the last 3.5, 4 minutes, hoping for a kick out down to Essendon's forward, and it just kind of never happened. And when it did, it didn't go to him, which is okay. Dawson, holders of Dawson who have the balls to hold him, you were repaid, which could separate you for your scoring this week, especially if you captain him. You're either really brave or really stubborn. But I don't think this talks to Dawson's Supercoach capability. This was purely because I believe Crouch is out. Dawson has always had the skills. He's always been a really good user of the ball. And when he's given the right role, this is what he can do. This is the Dawson we know. It's just his role's changed. And it's not what we need from someone who's, got that potential. It's just put him in the mid. Don't put him in the forward line. Collingwood and Port started strong. Collingwood started slow, but ended up coming back swinging. Dacos finally looks in form, which is really, really good. Played pretty much all over the field. Spent some time on the forward line, and then played mids and halfbacks. And he just did really, really well. Some people did a risky VC on him. That would have paid off. Dan Houston, I had a feeling he's going to have a really good game, and my gut was going to captain him instead of Merritt. I'm kicking myself. I didn't. I've been trying to lean into my gut feeling now after seeing all these amazing content creators like Godfather and Centre Bounce and Shorty. And just talking about, just leaning into your gut feeling and just kind of, live and die by the sword, basically that. Butters doing Butters thing, holding his own, as always. Big O's still pretty doing well. Hort Francis, you're not really happy, but you're also not mad. Concerning that he came off with hammy tightness and soreness. The Rooks did pretty well. Sweet did really well first game in. He did well. Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's definitely an option if you were struggling. But Drew and Rosier had very quiet games. If you're holding them as pods, you're upset. I'm upset at Giants altogether. This is just a shit game. Not mad for me because I want to look to bring in Whitfield potentially. So in the lowest score, and this is probably working in my favour. But I'm pretty sure, that's going to be down his price, which is going to be lovely. Green, I don't want to talk about Green. Walsh, a lot of people who went early on Walsh would be very happy. I was holding off. Could have easily gone Walsh instead of Merritt and banked some more cash, but the back injury and it concerns me. So, but this is really, really promising. Hewitt had a good game. He's also a potential option, but he loves tagging. Yeah, literally all I want to talk about that game. The early main thing to talk about for Geelong, who's now the only undefeated team, is Zorko, who's showing really good form. That needle has apparently done him wonders, so he's definitely a forward option to look at. Only option we want to talk about here is Stewart, who got subbed out with concussions. So hopefully he's all good because he was our target for this week to bring in. Obviously, depending if he's named or if he's listed as concussion protocol, that will depend on if we bring him in or not because it is 22 now. We've passed the bye rounds, thankfully, after this. Nothing else special to talk about. HARLEY REID, what a fucking man. Probably the best hold I've had all season. He's definitely proving himself to be a bit of a keeper. Just what a fucking game. Elliot Yo, he's proving that he's definitely potentially locked in for the top 6. If he can maintain this, I miss the boat, and I don't feel too confident bringing in an injury prone player, so I'm just going to leave him alone and look to build my strength elsewhere. I feel like everyone expected a lot more from Fremantle in general, especially Sarong. Ryan has a bad record against West Coast, and this just proves it because this is like 4 rounds in a row he's got under a ton. Darcy came back in pretty good form too. Clark played well. I know people have him as a bit of a pod in the back line, so he did well. 5 averaging very well, 80s and 90s. So you're pretty happy to see that if you're holding him. Definitely worth the, 350-ish? Yeah, around about that. With Sharp, I expected a lot more out of. I fielded him instead of Graham. I feel like I'm going to regret that, and I'm happy with this score from Draper. Just a slow burn rook in the back. But that's pretty much our recap for the Saturday games and games played so far. We obviously need a lot more to come from. We want to see if Closey can back up a third game. This break-even's going to be nuts. There's really no one else to talk about. Too. We'll have a good game. Roberts will come back in good form. Well, the main concern here is Grundy. We need to see him do something. I held him because I had bigger concerns to trade out. I need to see him. I'm not worried about Power. I'm not worried about Flanders. I want to see Biggie pop off again. That'd be amazing. Anyway, how are you guys tracking? What is your projected score so far? I am curious to see where I'm currently sitting for my projected score. I know it's definitely not the best. Definitely not the worst I'm seeing. So how have your trades treated you so far? And what's your projected score? Leave a comment, let me know.